Hello everyone. I want to start out this week in saying thank you. Thank you for all of you who have watched and supported and commented. All of your comments, all of your reactions, all of your shares, all of that supports me so much. And I've been doing these Tease Towels weekly for a long time. And I just want to say right off the bat, thank you. Thank you for helping me to be inspired to continue to share my thoughts and these things. And thank you for supporting me. So I hope you've started out with a good week. Happy Tuesday. And we're almost to hump day. But anyway, this topic is a little tough one. And it's one that is hitting me so much harder this year. So for many of you who know, I grew up in Tennessee, and then in high school and college, we moved to Indiana, and I lived there, and I always planned to go back to Tennessee after school because I love the warmth. I love the mountains. I love all of that stuff. I loved where I grew up. But life changes with things, and I ended up meeting someone from Wisconsin and ended up in Wisconsin, and so I've spent the last 40 plus years in Wisconsin, and I loved it. I loved Madison. I love the area. I still love it. But the winters are long, and the fact that even from Indiana, I plan to go back to Tennessee because of the warmth and everything is, shows I love the warmth and all of that stuff. And so I always dreamed of being able to retire in a place that has warmth and beauty and sunshine and just that slower pace. And so after years of working, we did it, and we ended up finding our dream spot nestled at the base of the Catalina Mountains in Arizona. And it's so much that we hoped for, beautiful views, the warm, quiet mornings, and how the desert is all the time, even after the rain. And I love the green. I love the green of Wisconsin, and that's one of the things I love about the place we are here is we're at the base of the mountains. You have the rolling hills, you have the golf courses, you have the green. And it doesn't feel just like a flat desert. It really is. You see me post pictures all the time of the beauty here and how it is like a paradise for both my husband and I. So we are what everybody calls snowbirds. We spend our fall and winters in Arizona, and we go back for the summers and the holidays to Wisconsin. And it's because we love not just the green of Wisconsin and everything in the cooler weather in the summer. We want to be close to the kids and the grandkids. And this is the thing that I struggle with the most and didn't expect quite so much is feeling this year a particular sense of deep guilt of not being there with the grandbabies. The grandbabies are getting to these ages where they start to be more fun, and they know I'm there, and they feel my presence, and they want to be with me, and all of those kinds of things. So I can sit out here on my patio having coffee in the morning, watching the sunrise over the mountains, and everything is so peaceful and perfect. And then that little voice in my head whispers, I'm missing them. They grow up so fast. And what if they need me? It's that tug of war between joy and responsibility, between peace and guilt. And here's the kicker with that is because when my kids were growing up, we lived in Wisconsin and my parents lived in Indiana. And I felt that guilt with that. And they only got to see their grandma. My dad died younger, so they only got to see their grandma a few times a year. And I always felt sad about that. And I used to think, when I'm a grandma, if my kids are around, I'm going to be there. I want to be a part of their everyday lives. And for a while I was. And I was happy that both my kids settled into the area and I could be with them and see them often. And it filled my heart with joy. And with all that, I can't help but see the irony of this, that now I'm not here. So it has had me thinking, how do you reconcile the irony of this? How do we hold space for both gratitude for where we're at and guilt with what we're missing, for joy and for longing? And here's what I've been learning with this. Guilt and love actually come from the same place. The only reason we feel guilty is because we love so deeply. And guilt is actually love in disguise. And when we shift our focus from why we feel guilty, we can soften it and realize that it's not a punishment. It is a reflection of our love. I knew I was going to get emotional on this one. And it actually is okay that we outgrow some seasons. We spend so much of our lives as parents, as mothers particularly, giving, nurturing, showing up for everyone else. And it's this season now of our life that we've worked so hard for to reach, and it's meant to be enjoyed. And enjoying it doesn't mean that we care any less for our family. It means that we're just finally allowing ourselves to receive the peace that we've earned and that we've worked so hard for. Connection also doesn't depend on location. I'm very, very grateful for FaceTime, if you have Apple, for Facebook Messenger, for being able to do those video calls and still have those moments where those grandkids do still get to see your face. They get to interact with you. They get to talk with you. And I'm so, so grateful for that, because I know, in past generations, they didn't have that. And so I'm always pushing my kids to let's have those video calls. And it also means that we need to be intentional in those connections about proximity, sending them little things or things like that. And that's a way that we can take action to feel a little bit closer to them. Another one is that we're actually setting an example. Our kids and grandkids are watching us, and by living with joy and embracing adventure, it honors what fills us up, and we're showing them what a full and vibrant life can look like. And that's a legacy. That's something that we shouldn't take lightly, and we need to value. The other one is we need to give ourselves permission to be happy. This one can be the hardest when you're apart like that. We've been conditioned to put others first, to and to justify our joy. There's little things that have been said that make me feel guilty, but it's guilt that I'm bringing on my own self for just feeling that, having that hard time to put yourself first. We've earned this through sacrifice and hard work and through love, and it's okay to receive the beauty that we've built. So, yes, I've been struggling, and my heart is in two places. Part of me is here in this desert sun and finding peace and presence and enjoying this part of my life. And hi, Sue. And, living this life that I can live now, that I might not later be able to live. But part of me is in Wisconsin and wrapped up in family and the familiar laughter of those grandbabies. And maybe this is what this part of life is about. It's learning that your love can stretch across miles. It's big enough to hold both homes. And when that guilt creeps in, I just need to remind myself, my joy doesn't take away from my love, it adds to it. And because the happier that I can be and the more fulfilled I am, the more I have to give. And that's something worth passing down. I think there's so many generations before us that live their whole life only living and giving to others and neglecting themselves. And it's not selfish to be doing this. So this is what I've been struggling with, as you can tell by my getting emotional, which I didn't intend to. But we have enough love to give to both. And it is good to set these examples for our children and for our grandchildren, that to spend time and work for those things that you work for to grow older is not selfish. That it just enlightens us, helps us live a better life, and to have more to give to those we love. So that's my message this week, Auntie Sal. Thanks, Sue, for jumping in and saying hi. If you guys watch this on replay, let me know your thoughts on this. And if you struggle with this, I know I have so many friends out here who are snowbirds and go back and forth, and I'm sure deal with some of the things I'm dealing with. I think it gets harder as the kids get a little older until they get to that age where they don't care about being with grandma and grandpa anymore. But yeah, share this if you know someone who could use this message. And thank you guys for joining me and supporting me. And thank you, Sue. I love you too. And I'll see you next week on Tea Style. Bye-bye.